I'm bored. Let's read a book. Oh. Since what I had to do would further upset tradition and Fenard, I needed someone with a personal interest, and Brettel was the only one possible. I kept telling myself that Gerlach carried me out the North Road into the mill master's operation. Perhaps I had just picked the day because the sun was finally out and the wind down, and the air so clean and clear that despite its bite on my face, I wanted to sing. I didn't. That would have been inflicting too much on poor Gerlach. The thoughts of the song died as I neared the mill and the gray stone warehouse. Laris, what brings you here? Did you finish that chair? His silver hair glinted despite the afternoon overcast, and his smile was welcoming. You gave me the order 2 days ago. Good chairs take some time. I grinned right back at him, but I couldn't sustain the expression. His eyes raked over me. Come on into the parlor. Would that be all right? I'll be there shortly. I need to tell Arda about some cuts. If you want some red berry, Delta will get it for you. He was off, his short legs propelling the big torso and broad shoulders toward the mill with a walk that would have been running for most men. Wiping my forehead, I dismounted and tied Gerlach to the post, loosely. Although he needed no tying, there was no point in advertising either his training or my abilities. I wondered if people at the Traveler's Rest had ensured that a mountain pony was always there at Felshar's livery when danger killers arrived, or whether it had been specially set up for me. Tauren, nursing a guilty conscience. Although the afternoon was clouded, the dampness and heat, and the lack of any breeze at all, created the feeling of walking through a hot bath in winter clothes. My growing internal order mastery let me handle cold, but heat was another question. At the long one-story house beside the lumber warehouse, I lifted the brass knocker and let it fall. A young woman opened the door. I smiled in spite of myself, seeing the eyes as blue as the sky after a rain, hair as bright as spun gold, skin more finely finished than the silk of white oak, and a figure like a temple statue. I could have cared less that she came to less than my shoulder. May I help you? The mill master is in the main building. Her voice was firm, yet smooth as a good finish on black oak. Gathering myself back together, I nodded. I'm Laris, the journeyman for Destron. Brettel asked me to wait for him in the parlor. Are you Delta? I'm Delta. She smiled politely, with a natural warmth that promised nothing while cheering the afternoon. And for some reason I thought of Crystal, though I could not have possibly said why. He mentioned Redberry. I'll take you to the parlor. She even provided me with a real glass tumbler of Redberry. And I sat in a chair probably made by Dorman, since it matched the one I had seen in his plan book, and wondered what Brettel's concert looked like to have produced such a daughter. Then I wondered about Deirdre, and whether I was planning was fair. Recalling Tauren's acidic comments about fairness, I ended up shaking my head. You look like crap, Laris. Brettel carried another tumbler, but his steamed. The odor of spiced cider filled the room, mixing with the smell of burning wood from the hearth. That's the way I feel. You look like you want to ask something out of the ordinary? I nodded. Don't tell me you want to marry Deirdre. No, that would be wrong for both of us, but she's part of the problem. Brettel sipped delicately for such a broad man from the tumbler, waiting. You know Destron's failing, I began. He doesn't look well. He can't maintain the business too much longer. Can't say I'm surprised. His face darkened. Hold it, I'm not walking off soon, but I need a favor, not for me. He took another sip as his expression slipped back to neutrality. Why are you asking me? I decided to blurt it all out. I need to train an apprentice for Destron. He had to understand or feel woods, and he has to be older than the normal apprentice. And I really want him to be suitable for Deirdre. That's a big order. Who appointed you Destron's keeper? I guess I did. No one else was helping him. Now that I've made things profitable, I can't just leave it. But the time will come. I shrugged again. Why can't you stay? For now I can. The time will come, probably before too long, when... You're awfully mysterious, Laris. Why should I do this? The man was pressing, but he had been good to me, and I could tell that he embodied order. I looked around the parlor, let my senses expand. No one was within hearing distance. What do you know about Recluce? Brettle just nodded, not even looking surprised. There's always been something more about you. You helping Destron? I knew what he meant, as I can. But there's nothing anyone could do. You do this for him? He's a good man. Not a terribly good crafter, but a good man. And he fights each day because he feels like he can offer Deirdre nothing. Brettle scratched his left ear, then took a long pull. Do you have any ideas where such an unusual apprentice might be found? How about the youngster son of the woodlot owners, or the farms where you log? You might have a feeling. I might. Does he have to be older? No, but not too much younger. Gentle at heart, but stubborn, if that's possible. I closed my mouth, realizing I was revealing far too much. You worry about me? A little, I admitted. You should, then he smiled. But I told you I was Deirdre's godfather. But whether you came from the underworld itself, something needs to be done. Let me think about it. There are a couple of youngsters that just might do. He chuckled and added, and their parents would believe we were doing them a favor. I finished the red berry while Brettle thought. I'll get back to you, he told me while ushering me out. 1 8-day later, Bostrick arrived. So did a commission for a red oak chest for Delta's dowry, with instructions to take my time and do it right, as if I ever would have done it any other way for Brettle. Bostrick was gangly, red-haired, and freckled, initially as shy as a spooked quail, at least when I was around, and stubborn as a concerned buffalo. But he listened, and he could feel the woods. In his work on the woodlot, he'd even used a saw and tried his hand at carving. His figures of people and animals were artistically better than mine. Destron just humped, between coughs and when he had the strength to do so, and Deirdre made larger portions of the ever-present barley soup. Boring it might be, but she smiled more. When she wasn't fussing over her papa, and that was all I could expect. I still sometimes dreamed about Golden Girls, and sometimes about a black-haired woman, and woke up sweating and worse. I wondered why I dreamt of Crystal, but had no answers. All the time, Bostrick slept soundly in the pull-out pallet we had built for him in the shop. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any of my videos. See y'all in the next one. Goodbye!
I was